friends. So I'm back today to work on my 6x12 study abroad album conversion, and I have quite a few updates from the month of September, and then we are going to work on getting October into the album. So one thing you might notice right away is that I did go ahead and move these pages for August and September so far into a spare travel album I had that I had ordered for another project I haven't started yet. And so it's in here for now. I do really like this album. I have a few of them. You might have seen them from past projects. And I'm thinking about maybe just committing and ordering like 6 more to finish off this study abroad. And then if I have an extra one or whatever, I can like maneuver it around for my other travel projects. So that's fine. But for now, this one is living in here. And we talked about my cover pages a little bit last month. But one thing I did do was I printed a 6x12 photo for the backside of it. And I cheated a little bit for this. I knew the first week of October I had a big trip and it had a lot of these like vertical photos with antiquities that would be like a really strong, tall, skinny image. And so I went into there and picked one out to get enlarged for the back of my cover. And then if we skip forward to September, as I mentioned before, my goal is to do 2 spreads per month, as well as doing the conversion into the 6x12 size. And I definitely got really enthusiastic and carried away with this project this month. So I did way more than 2 spreads. We'll have a look at them now. But I'm thinking, or I'm anticipating October, November, December at least has a lot of like really heavily seasonal themed products coming out that I'm going to want to be working with for various design teams and just, personally as my own inspiration. And so it may be that there's less of this travel album involved. I still want to do my 2 spreads. It may be that it slows down a little bit, or it may be that I'm still just really loving it. So we're going to see how it goes. So this is the beginning of September. And we can see here I have the plastic divider in. And so I was really surprised. I thought I would do some more of these travel pages, and I ended up not. But what did happen was I was kind of playing around with the Ali Edwards Seek Story Kit, and as I was printing different elements to try and use them, I thought I'd maybe use it more in like the mountain area. But they just kept ending up on this spread here. I've already shared this one on Instagram so you can see lots of details. But I think mostly I just really wanted to use this green city map, kind of road map paper out of the Seek Story Kit. That didn't really work for the mountains, so I ended up back into the city. I also finished this kind of 4x12 page here, which is just like a really fun size to play with. I had this picture of the first day of school, and so I just played around with some different supplies and elements. I think, this one and this one is both based on the Maggie Holmes round trip inspired kit that I made. Hopefully you will have seen the video for that by the time this one goes live for October. But if not, more information will be coming. But so these 2 were not new products. They were mostly a stash inspired kit. And then I just pulled different stamps and stickers and things to finish them off. So this again is just kind of like a little bit of a daily life page. Lots of pictures of going out to dinner and stuff. I was living at a dorm at the time, so there was no like kitchen, so we ate out a lot. And then this month I did make a pyramids page, which was really fun and exciting. So I haven't finished the first pyramids page yet, which was back in August, but we went again a couple weeks later, different group of friends, and I just said yes to like basically every adventure. So I made this one using a digital Studio Calico card collection. What I was saying was that for this page, I used a Studio Calico digital card collection that I had purchased earlier this year when they had all of their digitals for sale for $1. And so I kind of just opened it up and went through and printed off cards that I thought would be fun to use. And then again, just pulled out my stamps and embellishments to finish off the page. And so that's something I'm really like excited about doing throughout this project, is just really like playing with my supplies. And so this one is a flip out. I have some tickets in here in a vellum pocket. And then I'll scooch over a little bit, see if I can show you. Yeah, so that's the rest of the page. I had it propped up there, and now you've seen behind the scenes. So there's more pictures from that event on the back. And I actually, this card here, no, this one here, for whatever reason, just gave me the most grief. And I kept switching it out for other cards and embellishing them. And I really liked all of these cards, but it just wasn't working in that spot. So for now, I just stuck them on the back here. I'll probably use one of them when I finish this page and try and work the other ones into the album somewhere else. So this is a spread I made using the Allie Edwards Story by the Month digitals. And that's probably something I'll try to do every month throughout this year. And so I just have, again, it's just like a little collection of life events, a place to list some things we did that didn't necessarily have photos, a mall trip, just, yeah, lots of little fun bits. So that's really fun there. Another unfinished page, one we're skipping. I love this page so much. I've already shared it on Instagram, so you'll have already seen it, but it is using the new Practical Scrapper Destinations collection that she's making. And there's a variety of themes that all coordinate, and the idea just really like blows my mind. And so I'm having the most fun with that. So this one is using the City collection, as well as a lot from the foundations that are all made to coordinate. That was a really fun kit to work with. Plus, I'm really loving the layout of this page. I was really not certain what I was going to do to work with a lot of these like 4x6 verticals that I had, because there wasn't a lot of room to crop down. Like a lot of them are architecture, very tall. And so I took a Design D page protector and I just used my fuse tool to fuse up the middle. So the Design D originally had 4 6x6 pockets. When I cut it down, now it has 2 6x6, and then I divided those in half. So these are 3x6 images. I did find most of my verticals I could trim a little bit off of either side, and I really just love how it came together. I'm definitely going to be using this configuration again. I'll probably have to like find a source for more of these page protectors because they're not really something I ever used, so I didn't really ever stack up on them. Another thing I wanted to point out was that I did say in my last video that I was going to try not to fill in too many cards because I wanted to kind of come to more of a blank palette and use whatever supplies I wanted when I decided to address a page. But as I was printing things for other pages, there was some things that just kind of worked perfectly with the stories I wanted to tell. And so I kind of made myself a deal that if I'm going to put cards in, I'm going to have to do the journaling on them as well. So it's not just a blank card stuck in there and I have to remember why, but I've already done the journaling and it's ready to go. So as you can see here, I haven't done that yet on these 2 cards. I've started this one, but I still technically have some time in September. I have a couple days left here, so I want to get those filled in. And then, yep, same here, another card, another story. And then the last spread that I've completed here is, yeah, just again, a little bit of a collection, a night out with some friends, just a few other bits and pieces I had in here. And so I finished this one with, I was reorganizing some of my digital collections that I've printed. I had some bits and pieces left from In My Pocket Life Stories, which was a workshop that I contributed to on the Teresa Moxley website in January. And there's still some pieces I really, really liked. I'll take this out so you can see it a little bit better, but there's some pieces I really liked. So I decided to just find a page that it would work with and make the page. So that's what I did here. On the back, I have some Post-its of stories that kind of got shifted along that I haven't told yet. And then, like I said, because I was ordering photos, I really want to put some more 6x12 enlargements into these albums or into this project. So I picked one other one. So I have the front cover one and then one other one from this trip that's coming up the first week of October. And so I went ahead and stuck that in there just so I would remember to use it. So I'm actually going to take that out now. And then I'm also going to take these Post-its that go to some stories that are coming up or still need to be told. And then I have a few other things to mention. I've always known that I had like another box of ephemera or memorabilia type stuff to go through. And my idea was to get this all put together and then to try and fit some of that stuff back in. But my curiosity got the better of me and I opened it up. And I'm actually going to move this aside so I can show you. But I opened it up and there was just way more stuff in there than I remember. So what I've done is I went through the box and I sorted things out. At the beginning, here's just some kind of like general things. But then I made a page protector for each month and slid things in there. And if there was other specific things from that month, I added more page protectors. So these are some of the student newspapers. A couple of them I just saved because I wanted, like, this was the student newspaper. But there was a few articles specifically I also wanted to use. So I would need to go through those. And then, so my idea now is to just, like when I go through October, I will take these out and try to phase them in. And then anything I don't use, I'll put back in here until the end of the project. And then we'll part with anything or find another way to incorporate it into the album. So yeah, lots of stuff, like lots of letters from people and notes and cards that people had sent me and just all sorts of things stuck in here. So this is another step I am adding to the project. But it was good because I did find things like a ticket that I added in here that goes to this museum and just a few other bits and pieces. So I'm glad I tackled that now, and I'm going to have to do a little bit better job of incorporating things. So let's go ahead and put this one away. And while I do that, I'll talk about how one of the other things that I really became aware of as I was working through this project in September. So one of the other things I really became aware of when I was working on this project in September was that now I'm feeling like I want things to be a little bit more in chronological order than maybe when I put together the 12 by 12 albums. And so I want to make that a little bit more of the process. So I'm going to take some time. Most of them are dated on the back of the photo. And just make sure that it's really in the order I want, especially for these ones where I'm cutting them down to the 3x6 or like 3x3 squares. I want to make sure that that's really where it goes in the page configuration before I commit to that. So let's just take a look in here. This is kind of my in-progress working album that you've seen the last couple of videos. I did make a reading page about the different books and things I was reading. That was also already been on my Instagram. I made it for Nellie and Clem. And so that's just hanging out in here because it can go really on like anywhere in the album. So I do want to take this dorm stuff because I want to fit it in somewhere hopefully soon in the album. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I am going to put this stuff away now, and then we will go over the 12 by 12 October pages to be transitioned. Okay, so this is October and it's 12 by 12 state. As you're about to see, there is a lot of material in here. So I went on, I think, at least 2 fairly major trips in October. There was some holidays, some different things like that. So we are just gonna jump right in here and see what's going on. So of course we have my plastic divider first. We have a field trip to some pyramids. So like I said, that first week of October included a national holiday in Egypt. And so we took that opportunity to take a long weekend to Luxor and really kind of see our first antiquities that were outside the museum and the pyramids. So there is a ton of pages for this, but I would say they are not particularly well organized. This was, a vertical page I used and just kind of worked to fill in. Lots and lots of things, lots of tickets, which is really fun. Some of these things in the tombs and things, they're not amazing photos, but I really like them. But I've been back since with better cameras and taken better photos and things. So I'm not adverse to the idea of cutting these up. I might even do some more 3x3 pages. You see, this one is missing kind of a lot of things that haven't been filled in. So definitely looking to condense some more of those things down. We'll go through just lots and lots and lots of touristy pictures, and I love each and every one of them. This was like a really pivotal trip in my life, and so I'm really excited to be working with these. And then I have this amazing, this is like one of my favorite photos I've ever taken. Let's see if I can scoot over so it's out of the glare, but so I blew it up to 12 by 12 and it's in the page protector. So I will probably just leave that as like a big spread on its own. We're still in Luxor here, still being tourists. And so then we head back. So that's the end. Nope, it's not. It's not the end. I lied. We're still in Luxor. And there's another. Yep. So look at this. So this is the end when we took the train back to Cairo. And then this is just like a little bit in Cairo. Another field trip to the pyramids. Just a bunch of pictures, some things I had pulled from some other places and just stuck in so they're kind of in the right chronological area. And then I went on another trip to get my scuba diving license. So kind of throughout October, there's stories of how I was taking the classes and the tests. And then we went to the Red Sea for our final test. So tons and tons of pictures here, more beach and water pictures, which you can never go wrong with. And then also I went to the zoo in Cairo. I went a few times throughout. This is the first time, and I really love this Project Life Zoo collection. It's just so pretty. It's like a work of art, and so I want to find a way to continue to incorporate that for sure. And then Halloween. And then even though Halloween is like October 31st, there was some more October things that hadn't come up, and at the time I didn't think it was really important chronologically, but I will try to adjust those a little now. And so I have that, and then I have some pictures of the university campus, and then we go into November. So that is a huge chunk of pages, and what I'm going to do is, because I do want to be a little more intentional about this and lay them out with a little bit more chronology, is that I am going to start with just removing, I'll do this first like field trip to the pyramids because that's only one page. And then I'm just going to remove this trip to Luxor, which is, yeah, this section here. I'm just going to pull this out and start working with this. So that's what I'm going to do now. And then I'll come check back in. Okay, folks, I'm back. This month spiraled so quickly. So it is the next day. I'm still wearing the same sweater because it's the weekend and that's how I roll. I wanted to jump in because I kind of skipped a step. Usually the last month or 2 months I've shown kind of the in-between before I cut the 12 by 12 page protectors down. But I started amassing so many pages from this first trip that I wanted to cut them down, punch them, and get them into the volume 1 album to see if they would fit. And as it turns out, they did not. Like, they fit, but it was super close to being full. And I know I'm going to want to add stuff as far as embellishments and more cards and things. And so I decided to find somewhere I could split the trip in two to fill volume 1 and start volume 2. And so I had already put in some photos that I wanted to enlarge to 6 by 12. And I decided that would be a good spot. So I chose the one I liked better. And I'll put it on the back of volume 2. And then everything before that is going to go at the end of volume 1. Well, that being said, when it was in volume 1, there was still quite a bit of room left. Like, it was like 5 pages too many, and then it was like 5 pages too little. And so what I decided to do was I went ahead and used that for the spot to add some of my dorm pictures. So I'll give you a little flip through here to show where we are at. And then we'll just keep plugging along. So we got the October divider. I did put this all, it's in another 6 by 12 album that I will use for now to hold volume 2. Again, it's probably not the one it's going to live in. It's actually something I ordered for another project. But it's here and I have it, and so I might as well use it for a little while I need space to store these. So we have the clear October divider. And then going in, we start some of the dorm stuff. And I did go back last month when I was ordering prints, and I looked up some more pictures because I think I mentioned in the first video, I'd intended to do like a photo a day project from study abroad. That's something I decided before I went. And so a lot of things are like pictures of me at places, just like in front of things. And so I hadn't originally printed them, but when I was going back, I was like, I'm sure there's a picture of me working in the courtyard, and I want to talk about the courtyard. We had a fountain in the courtyard, so there's that picture. Like, I just printed a few more things that are a bit more like nostalgic and story-based for me now. So lots of pictures of the dorm and different aspects and stories I want to tell about that. A picture of me sitting on what was already in 2004 a very dated TV. And yeah, so lots of dorm stories. So those fit really well at the beginning there because I did have a couple extra pages worth of space. So then moving on to what was October properly is I have a field trip to some pyramids, and then we go into this big vacation. So it was a national holiday in Egypt, so I wanted to make sure to leave a space to write about the holiday and the reason that we had a long weekend. And then I also knew I had some stuff. I do have a picture from the train I might print, but I had some stories from the train trip down and stuff that I wanted to share. So right now this like front page is completely blank, but it'll have a bunch of stories in it. And then we just kind of jumped right into sightseeing. So this was a really special trip to me. It's the first time I ever went to Luxor, and I like consider that my second home now. I was just there a couple weeks ago. So I really wanted to like highlight it in a special way and be less concerned about space or supplies or whatever. So one thing I decided to do was take my tickets for like each day, or then the last couple days are on one sheet. And I want to make them kind of see-through because they're just like a little bit undersized for 3x4. So I'm going to put clear acetate in there. I have room for some embellishment at the top, but just like something fun to add that kind of makes them more prominent. And also this is like 2 versions of the tickets ago. So you definitely don't really get these ones anymore. They came out with another version and now they're switching over to another version again. So definitely like just a little bit of, history or whatever. So I love that. And then I put it over top of another 6x12 photo. So like I said, I knew in this trip, I have a ton of verticals that are like very strongly tall, skinny photos. And so this was a really fun opportunity to add some of those and then give me a place also to like add some embellishments and play around. So we have the Classe Memnon. On the back, I'm going to put a photo of me from Deir al-Bahri. And then I kind of found some places it was weird that I didn't have any like other photos of. And I know I took them. Like I have the photos, I just hadn't printed them. And so I did leave myself some spaces. So I'll probably put a picture of the temple here, just a little bit like smaller. And then on the back, I have some pictures from the tombs of the nobles. This is a bit of a weird selection of photos. I know I definitely have more. So I might go back in and rearrange that a little. I'll probably cut this one down to 3x4 to stick it in. So the Ramesseum, again, I just have a 4x6 here that I want to cut down. I haven't done that yet. And then we have the kind of end of the day and some stories. I have one of my news stories I wanted to add. And then going into the tickets again, I think I must have another ticket that goes here. So that's, another option. But this is the next day. And then kind of just some earlier in the day stories, and then the Valley of the Kings. I had this Let's Explore cutout already in place here on a 6x12 insert, and so I thought I'd go ahead and leave it because I just thought it was like fun. But I did make this one also a flip up because I had quite a few pictures, and they're like almost all pictures with people in them rather than a lot of like scenery stuff that I might be able to reduce, so I kept those. So we have another temple, just using some different configurations. I did find I used a ton of my Design A page protectors this month, and it was just really, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how I had put together this trip in the 12x12. It was like almost all vertical pages or Design G, or I just like, there was no Design A page protectors to pull from. So I had to pull a bunch out of my stash, but that's, totally fine with me. So just, working to get all the different configurations in. We have some night activities here, and then some pictures of when we rented bikes. So this is actually the morning of the next day, but it formed a really good, like, dividing end page or whatever. So I'm just going to brace that and be fine with it. It's fine. So then we have the cover of volume 2, and it's going to have a 6x12. And then we go into Karnak, and Karnak has quite a few pages because I think it's a site you can spend all day at, and we pretty much did. There's just a bunch of different like areas, and I took a ton of pictures. It's just a really iconic place. So I have them all in here, and it might change, like keep an eye out. It might change configurations a little. I might make this one a like flip out page so that I can cut one layout out from farther back and just move it up here. So when you're flipping pages, there's less pages, but actually everything's all there if you look closely. So anyway, Karnak, we've got some verticals. We've got some more things that probably need to be cut down. Again, some things that need to be cut down. So this is kind of, in this section here is where I'll probably take the photos and put them in a flip out at the beginning. But for now, they're all in here. I can see them all. And then again, some night activities, some places for some stories I want to tell. Then we have another temple. This one's unusual because I'm fairly certain we went twice, like once in the day and once towards the evening. But they all just seem to be in here once, and I only had one ticket. So, don't know. But anyway, plenty going on there. This is the same temple, but now I have one of these Design E page protectors that I'm going to do the same as I did last month by dividing it into 4 3x6s. So I have temple pictures on the front and then river pictures on the back. So this is a Felucca trip when we went on a boat. This is an island it stopped at. And then I just freaking love this. Like I said, it was one of my favorite pictures I took the entire year, possibly like ever in Egypt. And I blew it up to 12 by 12 and I loved it. And so I wanted to make sure to get it in here. And I decided to just give it its own spread. And there is some like blank space down here. I can add some embellishments or whatever, but I just love it. So I'm going to skip this page because it's got some stuff I don't know if other people want me to share. But then we go into some more night stories. I have some things about the hotel here. And then another ticket page, which again, I have to look. I think I'm missing a couple tickets there. So this is the tickets for like the last few days because we started to go to bigger places. So we did less a day. And then this is the museum. And I'm really excited to use the Practical Scrapper in her Destination series. It has a new museum collection. So that's perfect. And then another page of us just like playing tourists. We ended up with an extra day because when we went to book tickets back to Cairo, they were sold out the night we were supposed to leave. So we actually came back a day later. And so we had an extra day. And so we just kind of hung out and did some of the other touristy stuff we hadn't done yet. Like we rode camels again. And I think this is probably the last time in my life I've been on a camel, but I did it twice right away at the trip here. So, and then just our trip back. And then when we got back to Cairo, some events, we had kind of right away a field trip to the pyramids again, hanging out in the dorm, studying, student stuff. Again, originally I'd taken a lot of these pictures as my like photo of the day project, but I'm so grateful that I have them now because it's just like a fun glimpse of being a student and hanging out and doing whatever. And so then this goes into the scuba diving trip. So I have kind of our hotel and stuff there. And then we have lots and lots of like dive pictures. Again, this is going to be the 3x6, 4 3x6 divided. So in the front, I have just like pictures from the boat and on the boat, things like that. And then on the back, I have some sunset pictures. And then we go into more diving, more boat, and then some of the evening pictures from that. This goes into being back in Cairo. And I did leave, like, I just gave myself a little bit of space here. So when I find other stories or I come across, like, I have a memory or something, I have room to add that there. This one is just like hanging out with friends. Yeah, so just went out for some drinks, hanging out in the dorm room. And then we decorated our doors. Like we just got orange paper and made some decorations and stuff. And so I have a picture of it on my door, but I actually still have my ghost with my name on it. Definitely going to be adding that there. This is the zoo. And so this again is going to be the 4 3x6s. I've got some tall ones. I've got some pieces from the Project Life Zoo collection because I still really want to use them. I love these. And so what I think I might do is I need a 3x6 journaling card to tell the story. So I might use the digital version and just add him to the top of it and then put the story underneath. So I just tuck those in here for now until I get that done. Let's see. And then the back is our Halloween party. So again, those will be 3x6s. This one flips open because we took lots of pictures and I have a few different stories I want to tell. And then the back again is just kind of some little life stories of being a student and living in the dorm there. This side I have a story that's become like a little bit of a family legend revolving around this postcard. And so when I had actually put this together in 2013 into the pocket pages, I had typed up the whole story here. So it's on 2 cards. I'll put a little tab in. I had always intended to get a picture of the postcard, like one time when I was home. And then last time I was home, my mom said I could actually take it. So I have the postcard here, and I will just include it into this page. And that's where this story is going to live. And then the back is completely empty. So that is going to be where I start my November stories. So that's where we stand right now. This was more significant than I thought it was going to be. It pretty much fills this whole album. October on its own is pretty much a album's worth of pages, but I'm okay with that. Like I said, I'm going to divide it. So some of them are going to go on album 1, some of them are going to go on album 2. And I think that I will be able to get at least November into volume 2 as well, because I've already looked ahead a little and it's a much less intensive month. I don't think there's any real big trips in there. There's a couple like field trips and a bunch of holidays and events and things like that. But otherwise, it is, much less. I think it'll fit. I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm super excited. I have all of these October pages. I have a huge trip, and I have a lot of supplies left still from the Allie Edwards 2022 travel release. I'm hoping to work on that for this Luxor trip. And also this month, so October 15th, the Allie Edwards story kit that's coming out is called History. And so I'm really hoping that the History kit has some like really fun things that I can use for my Luxor trip. And then also kind of a lot of fun themes. So a lot of daily life, a lot of hanging out, zoo, and a couple Halloween pages, and just all different fun things. I will be going ahead and jumping into that. I'll be doing at least my 2 pages for the month. I suspect I'll probably be doing more just because I'm really loving this project.